Hey, Mark Rugen here, Managing Director of Learning and Development for SAI. I want to show you how you can use Flexi Complete Designer along with EnRoute to create some really cool designs. Now, if you're not familiar with Flexi, Flexi is our flagship software for the sign and print business. But it has so many great features for design, and you can transfer files so easily to EnRoute. It's something that I think you should take a look at. Now, I've already created a design here, but I want to show you how I did it. First thing I did was I typed in some lettering, so I'm just going to click on there. You can access all your font styles here. All right, well, you can see that's a lot smaller than this, and it's the wrong font style. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to go over here. This is Design Central. That's where you find all your fonts and so forth. I'm going to go to Impact, and you can see how the letters are like the spacing between the lines there. Let's just do this visually. We'll just put them a little closer like that. Okay, so we got that about right. That's not bad, but it's right justified. Again, very easy. Just click here on this tab, right justify it, and there you go. Okay, so that's how I started with the lettering. The next thing I did was I went to my shapes menu over here, and I just designed a little sunset. Well, how did I get that sunset? I'm going to make that orange, and then I'm going to go to effects, and I'm going to choose striping. And there's all kinds of effects in here, you know, so if you put enough stripes in there, those are even stripes to make it look kind of like a fading down into this little water thing down here. You can just go over here and just say I want to vary the gaps and so forth, and I'm just going to pull this down a bit, and guess what, there it is right there. Very, very easy to do. And then for that little water type look there, what I did was I just designed a straight line like this. Okay, nothing magical. And then I went to the arrange menu and I said, let's do multiple copies of that. So step and repeat. And I just said, do a bunch of copies. I did 6 copies straight up. Okay to that. Let's paint it blue. And then I went back to my effects menu here and I said, let's distort that. I chose this distortion. Just kind of a wavy look to it. Click OK. And there's my design. Now, that was really, really fast and was very easy to do. Now I want to show you the power of EnRoute because I'm going to take my designs over here and I'm going to transfer them over to EnRoute. Now watch how easy this is. All we got to do when you design this vector artwork over here, just click on the button called EnRoute, and then I'm going to go over to my EnRoute program and look, it's already transferred just like that. I'm going to set up my plate size. I'm going to make it 48 by 72, 2 inches thick. That's perfect, just like that. Let's bring these down just a bit. I'm just using my down arrow here to kind of move it down in my material. On the top one up here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a simple sign. So what I'm trying to do is upsell my customer, right? So I'm going to show them this is the sign I can make you that's, you know, inexpensive. And if that's what they want, that's fine. I'm going to grab everything here, okay? And I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to say, let's do a hatch fill in there, something like that. And it's going to tell me, okay, I found loops, no problem, I'm going to continue. I've set up end mills here to accommodate this. You can set these up as however you like. I just preset this to make the demo quicker. So you can choose from all kinds of different tools and so forth. This is going to do take out most of the material, then take out some of the finer corners and so forth, and then a little cleaning to make it nice and smooth. And I'm just going to click OK on that. And watch this, man. That's how fast it is, right? So it's basically created that design. Now this one on the bottom, I'm going to do something special with it. I'm actually going to get rid of the bottom part of that sun and those stripes down there. And let's take this whole thing here, and just to be sure, let's group it together, okay? And I'm going to take an oval. I'm just going to take a little oval like this, or an ellipse, if you will, and I'm just going to put it around this graphic here. I'm going to go down just a hair like that. Okay, just like that, and I'm going to take those two. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just take this one here and kind of place it. I'm just sort of moving it around. You can move it wherever you want, and I want to fill this bottom part down here with something really cool. So I'm going to import a bitmap. You'll see where I'm going with this. I'm going to make a 3D sign out of this. Okay, so I'm going to take these waves like this, All right, and I'm going to start about right here, and then I'm going to stretch those across here. Let's make them nice and long, a little bit down like this. I'm going to move that right under the sun there, so it looks like the sun is going down into the water. Okay, now why am I doing all this? Let's take that oval and let's go up here. This is called the relief. Now remember, I designed this in Flexi, but now I'm doing some cool things right in EnRoute. And let's create a little ellipse, okay, just sort of like this. I'm going to click OK and apply that. And basically, I'm taking that ellipse that we're looking at there and creating a 3D relief out of it. And then we're going to take that bitmap and I'm going to apply that texture to the relief. Yep, you can do that in EnRoute. It's very simple to do. All right, that little hashed look right there, that means that it's got a 3D relief on it. I'm going to click the light bulb here and you'll see that's actually 3D. And if I double click the word top up here, I can see all 4 views of this, and it's real easy to see what that oval looks like. There we go. So it's kind of like a mound like that, right? So what I'm going to do, let me go back to my top view here, is I'm going to take that relief and I'm going to take the bitmap and I'm going to go right up to our menu here and say, take that bitmap and apply it as a relief on top of my oval. And I'm going to say, yeah, add it to the oval. I'm going to make it like about 0.3 inches, 0.4 inches in height. And what it's going to do is take that pattern that you're looking at down here and apply it across right where it intersects the oval here. So it's going to give that bottom part of that ellipse kind of a watery look to it. So what I'm trying to do, like I said, I'm going to show the customer this simple one up here, but I also want to show them something that I can do that's much easier. Now, remember, I still have my lettering down here and my globe, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of those now, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to actually click on the relief again. I'm going to say, let's use a flat relief, and let's apply it to my graphic here. I'm going to make it like a 1/2 inch tall, and click apply, and guess what, now it's added that to that. So if I zoom in and I'm just scrolling my mouse to zoom, you can see the water pattern down here and the sunset and so forth. And if I zoom in really tight, what you'll see is this is kind of rough looking, on the edges and so forth. So guess what I'm going to do, just before, to make this really professional looking, I'm going to take my relief, I'm going to go right up here and I'm going to say, you know what, let's smooth the relief out. And you can actually add smoothing to this, and that makes it look a little more hand carved. Okay, it kind of makes the edges a little smoother, gives my image a little bit more of a flow between the letters and the actual ellipse itself, so that there's a smoothness that I'm adding to this particular graphic. Just takes a second or so to apply. There we go, and you can kind of see what happened. It just sort of smoothed all my edges out for me, which is great. Okay. Now that I'm done with that, what I want to do is I want to make sure that that's going to fit, and this plate size that I had here, that was 2-inch material. Okay, so what I'm going to do is let me just double click here, and I'm going to show you all 4 views. What I want to do is move this piece down into the material here. Okay, that's what I'd like to do. So I'm going to have the relief selected. I'm just going to simply go right here and just say fit it to the relief. And boom, it just moves it right down inside the relief there. And that gives me a nice way to kind of, I want to route out all that extra material around the edges there and kind of make a really cool ellipse with the logo and water, and then of course I'll spray paint it, and I mean I'm going to make something that's really good. So the top one is like the simple example, the bottom one is going to be the cool one, right? So let's take that relief now and let's go ahead and add an island fill to it. And I've already got this set up. I'm going to use a ball end mill, and I'm just going down all the way a little bit past the bottom of the material there, just to make sure I get all my everything done. Okay, I want to make sure we've got a nice clean image here. This will take a second to calculate all those tool paths, but once that's done, then I'm going to show you a really cool feature. And it's got calculated all those tool paths. That's pretty cool. So now I've got all my tool paths for both of these. I'm going to go back to top view here again. Okay, right click. This is kind of nice. Just zoom all. I can see the whole project now. Everything is done. here's the neat part. I can actually simulate this. Let's take a look at what both of these projects would look like if I actually produce them, okay? So we've got that project there. I'm going to click OK on this. Okay, and I'm going to click Run here, and you can see it's actually creating this project. It's actually showing me how my actual table is going to produce this. And naturally, since it's 2-inch material, my tools are going to be used in paths, and you can see how it's actually doing each a pass here. So the first pass, second pass, it's just showing me how it's actually creating this. And it will switch tools. So I use the big tool to kind of get all the material out. Now it's using a smaller tool to kind of grab the inside of my material. Looks like a couple of passes of that tool. No problem. There we go. It's almost finished. Everything looks pretty good there. It's just taking a second. It's just going in and making sure that it's cleaning everything up. Everything looks pretty good there. There's my top piece up there where the simpler one is. Let's just rotate this a little bit. Yep, you can actually see what it's going to look like. Look at that. Look at that, would you? That is the difference between those two pieces right there, right? So I could sell the customer this one, or I can say, hey, I can make you a really cool looking sign out of this one, and maybe the difference is quite a bit of money, right? And guess what? I'm going to hit my print screen key on my keyboard here. I just hit print screen, okay? And I'm going to go back to my Flexi. This is the cool part. I love this. Go back to my Flexi here. I'm going to right click and paste that in here. And I'm using 2 monitors, so it's showing you both monitors here, but that's not a problem. Right click on that bitmap, and I'm going to turn on my bitmap editing toolbar. Take my little cropping tool here, and maybe we're going to crop out this area right here. Okay, just click OK on Design Central over here, and now I've got a little crop right there. This is kind of cool. Okay, let's take this piece, and what I'm going to do is make it bigger so my customer can see it, right? Is this not cool? So I'm showing them, this is my starting piece here, and I can do this side for you or this. Well, how do I communicate with my customer now? Very easy. Just go to File and say Send to Approval Tool. Click on Send to Approval Tool. It's going to transfer that job to the internet and in a very safe area where the customer can actually take a look at it. So they don't have to own my programs. They can actually click on an internet link when they get an email from me, so that they can see both projects, and then they can actually comment and say I would like this color to be used here, or I want to make this change, or in this case I hope they say I want the bottom one. Okay, and then that way once they approve it, I get an email back that says the job has been approved. I already have the file ready to go. All I've got to do is send it out to my CNC machine, and guess what? I have used the design capabilities of the best program in the market called Flexi Complete, and I've used the machining capabilities of EnRoute. You are now, if you combine these two together, you're going to get some really cool designs for EnRoute. This is Mark Rugen, Managing Director of Learning and Development for SAI. If you want to know more, just go to thinksai.com, and we've got both programs there that you can read about and see all the features, and we'd be happy to have you.